Aloha everybody, Kaiwaza with you, John Charles. Welcome back to my channel, the Kaiwaza channel. And today, a Hawaiian South Pacific Exotica, whatever, record collection update. Having my second cup here of coffee. So this is a continuing series. This is number 308, believe it or not, in a series of videos that I show and talk about my entire Hawaiian record collection there, which you see part of, and there's more over there, and there's a little more in the back room as well. It's about 2,700 Hawaiian records, Hawaiian musicians, Hawaiian music recorded at various times of Hawaiian popularity on the mainland by mainland artists from Europe, from Asia, Hawaiian records from all over the world. I also have Exotica music, tiki lounge music, and related stuff. So I did a whole series, it took me 4 years to do, showing all of my Hawaiian records. That's on this channel, which you can watch. And then I'm just doing updates as I get new recordings, which, doesn't, when you have 2,700 Hawaiian records, that's a lot of them. So you don't come across a whole lot that you don't already have. But when I do get them, I do an update video, which we're going to do today. And by the way, I do have a radio station that plays selections from this Hawaiian and Hawaiian-inspired record collection, which is free to listen to on live365.com. It's called Hawaiian Hi-Fi Radio. That's going to be linked below. You can check that out anytime. The good, the bad, the ugly, we play it all. We love it all, and I encourage you to listen. It doesn't cost anything to listen. It does help me out if you listen, because they have something they call like ad impressions. So if, whatever number of people are listening at the time an ad is run, you get a credit off of the cost per month that it costs you to run the station. It's not hugely expensive, but it does help to get, does actually help me. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps me reduce my cost a little bit by actually listening sometimes to Hawaiian Hi-Fi Radio. So that's great, just tuning in for a while. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the recent acquisitions in the Hawaiian realm. This one is a Japanese recording. I had never seen it before. It wasn't horrendously expensive, because sometimes the Japanese recordings can be quite expensive with the shipping and whatever, and I pass on those sometimes, but this one was kind of within my range, so I thought, let me get it, because not cheap, but within my range. I wanted to get it. It's called Ukulele Plays Hawaiian Favorites. I'm familiar with the artist, Setsuo Ohashi and his Honey Islanders. They did many, many recordings of Hawaiian music. And this one, from 1964, instrumental. It is a Hawaiian ensemble, a typical Hawaiian ensemble, but emphasizing and featuring the ukulele playing rather than the Hawaiian steel guitar. And what is unusual about this record also is that Japanese music was quite popular Hawaiian music was quite popular in Japan. Many, many artists recorded Hawaiian albums there, from here, Hawaii, and also their own artists, such as Setsuo Ohashi, had long careers recording Hawaiian albums, but they tend to I don't know, there's about 20 songs, 25 songs that are sort of the standards in Japan of Hawaiian music, and it seems like almost every Hawaiian album will have those same songs on it that everybody else has done. And even when an artist will do a new album in Japan in the 60s and 70s, they would do the same songs, just different arrangements than they already recorded. Kind of interesting. This one's good because in that it has a lot of songs that were not typically recorded in Japan. They are Hawaiian songs, but for whatever reason, not standards in the Japanese recordings. Lani, Don't Sing Aloha When I Go, Akaka Falls, Weave a Lay, Drifting and Dreaming, Goodbye Hawaii. And they're all on this record. So this is kind of nice because it gives you it's a nice recording, quality recording, and there are a number of songs that you don't typically hear from Hawaiian Japanese artists. So cute cover too, very 60s, right? We like it. Next up, this was a popular television show. You might be surprised that I didn't have this album. I do have a CD of it from a long ago I got, but I've never had the vinyl, and I just found it pretty cheap. Because it's not always cheap when you find this record. Warner Brothers, Hawaiian Eye, great cover, right? Was a popular television show that started in 1959 and ran 4 seasons. I never saw it. I was a wee tiny baby while it was born, while it was on, and I never saw it, and I've never actually seen it. There might be a couple episodes on YouTube, but I'm not aware of anywhere where you can really stream Hawaiian Eye. I've never seen Hawaiian Eye on like a DVD collection or whatever. I'd be interested to see it. I think it looks like it was a cute show, and it was popular. And this album was recorded in 1960 with the cast. Mostly, it's not all Hawaiian songs though, but a good part of it. Actually, my favorites though on the album are the instrumentals. They did, well, the theme, Hawaiian Eye, which is a cool theme, Deep Night, Soft Green Seas, a couple others. Yeah, I like particularly the instrumentals on this album. Nothing wrong with the vocals, they just weren't my favorite. I do, it might be of interest to you, this guy here who played Kim, the taxi cab driver Kim, he did record a solo album on Warner Brothers also as a result of his popularity on the show. This one here, which I've had for a long time, Ponzi Ponce, that's his real name or his acting name. Kim is the character, and I have seen this released with the same cover, same everything, except I think they called it Kim the Cab Driver, or Little Kim, not Lil Kim, but Little Kim or something. I don't know. Sings. Because I suppose people knew him by his character's name on the show, really. But this is a really cute record. I like this one. But I've had that a long time. This one, yeah, newer to me. Cute. It's cute. The next, I have 3 albums here. We're not going to talk about them individually because I'm just going to show them to you, but they are, I pick these up when I find them cheap or they're sent to me or whatever. In Indonesia, there's a kind of music called Krontjong. It's kind of similar to Hawaiian music thematically. It's very sweet sounding songs, a lot of them. All about, the beautiful beaches and the beautiful sunsets and everything in Indonesia, and the flowers and different kinds of fruit and flowers and romance and lost love and all this sort of stuff. So it's sort of a similarity. I would call it the Hawaiian music of Indonesia, but I don't even know if Krontjong is even around anymore. Does anybody know? I really don't know much about contemporary Indonesia culture. I don't know if Krontjong is even a thing, but it was, quite a popular form of music there, and it sometimes features Hawaiian steel guitar. There were a lot of Hawaiian steel guitar players that came out of Indonesia, and some ukuleles and sort of the instrumentation. But it's very different because the ukulele playing, especially because it's based on a Portuguese music form. The name of which escapes me right now. Is it fado or something? But slow, kind of romantic Portuguese songs. Portugal and the Netherlands, part of Indonesia's colonial history, and had many impacts, including the music. And the Portuguese kind of brought Krontjong, or caused Krontjong into coming into being. And there were a lot of recordings made of it. And some of the same artists, many of the same artists who recorded Krontjong music also recorded Hawaiian records in Indonesia and in Europe. So anyway, here's, I got 3 of them here that I've picked up recently, and we'll just take let you hear them. Now, these guys are not Krontjong, but they have recorded some Krontjong music during their career. They're from the Netherlands. They're from Holland. Very popular there and in Germany, throughout Europe. Their steel guitarists, I believe, were all Indonesian. They had a couple of different ones. I think they were all originally Indonesian artists, the steel guitarists. This is a group called, very famous group. I mean, not in Hawaii, but like famous for Hawaiian music around the world, was the Kilima Hawaiians. They did many, many recordings. One of the longest standing Hawaiian groups in history. I mean, they recorded for decades and decades and decades. This is one of the earlier recordings by them I picked up recently. It has been reissued, and I do have a reissue of it later on Imperial Records. This is the same recording, but this is the earlier one. I kind of prefer their instrumental recordings. This one is primarily vocal. They did both. They did some recordings later on that were entirely instrumental, and I really loved them because there's like great steel playing, and they wrote a lot of their own songs, so they were original compositions. This one isn't exactly like that, but it's primarily vocal. What I like here, though, and they sing in Dutch. I guess it's Dutch, isn't it? Maybe they sing in German too, but anyway, pardon my ignorance. Now that I think about it, I'm like, was this even Dutch or German? I don't know what they were singing in, but it's nice, and it has their version of Wailana, Drowsy Waters, is quite pretty, and I like. They have a couple of medleys on here that are old hits of theirs, really old hits of theirs, like from the 40s or whatever. They're medleys that they put together of some of their big songs, like the one called Old Kilima Hits. I mean, if you're in Hawaii and you're in Hawaiian music, you're not going to know any of these songs. But if you listen to Hawaiian music that was recorded in Europe and by other bands, some of these songs you would recognize, and they've been covered by other musicians there or whatever. But Kisses from Hawaii, Under the Starry Hawaiian Sky, King Serenade, we know. Longing for Hawaii, When Night Falls on Hawaii, and Night in Hawaii. But it's an enjoyable record. It's cute.
Nacht op Hawaii, mijn gedachten zijn steeds daar. Onder ruisende palmen, waar wij wandelden. While far o'er the sea, your voice calls me. Drowsy waters by your shores, I lie dreaming.
Now, I have a continuing collection. I should do an updated video on my little subset here, but I started collecting any recording I could find of South Pacific the Musical. Cheap, of course. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on those, but cheapies when you find in the dollar bins and thrift stores of recordings of South Pacific. The musical came out in 1949. Rodgers and Hammerstein, extremely successful. I think one of the, if not still the, but it was one of the most successful Broadway musicals of all time. Ran for nearly 2,000 performances. It spawned a film, of course, and the major recordings, of course, did it, and then all the major labels did, cover versions or versions of South Pacific, and all the budget labels started doing them. So there's a lot out there, and I like them. Not so much of the music. The music's okay, but I'm not that much into the Broadway musical thing. But the covers tend to be great on a lot of them, and I just enjoy the artwork on them tend to be great, and I like the just the variety of them. So I have picked up a couple more recently. This one from 1959, South Pacific by Hill Bowen and his orchestra. We love the little that picture going on there. And then a budget label one from 1960, Palace Records, one of the most budgety of the budget labels, Palace Records. I knew about this, but had never come across it cheaply. So this was in really good condition, and it was, I think, $1.99. So we grabbed it. Selections from Oklahoma and South Pacific by Don Raleigh and his orchestra. One side is Oklahoma, the other side is South Pacific. Nothing new on this for me because I did already have these Don Raleigh South Pacific collections. This is a record I had earlier. It has the same Don Raleigh on one side, except on the other side of this record, South Pacific highlights, and on the other side are Songs of Hawaii, which are like the budget label Ukulele Hawaiian steel guitar recordings. So as far as South Pacific goes, these two actually have exactly the same music on them, but I wanted this cover, and I wanted it. It was only like $1.99, so there you go.
Don't try to patch it up, tear it up, tear it up. Wash him out, dry him out, push him out, fly him out. Cancel him and let him go. Yes, mister, I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair. I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair. I'm gonna wash that man.
Some enchanted evening
when you find your true love, when you feel her call you across a crowded field. One girl for my dream, one partner in paradise, this promise of paradise, this.
Now here's a record we have to talk a minute about. Whew, that's a good one. It's from Japan, and it is from the year 1967. I spent a little bit more on this than I usually do on records, but when I saw this one, I'm like, you, John, must have this. I'm also a fan of Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, which spawned so many imitation groups on regular labels and budget labels. Well, here is, and there are a couple Hawaiian records that are Tijuana Brass influenced. Notably, I think of Jack DeMello, who was a local artist here, or an artist based in Hawaii, had an orchestra, and he did the Waikiki Brass. But this one is amazing. This record is amazing. It's called Hawaiian Ameriachi by the Leon Brass. 1967. These are amazing. It is Hawaiian songs, pretty much the standards. There's a couple of the beach party song, Ukulele, Le Kalele, Le Kalele, da, da, da. La Cinema, which is actually a song by the Waikikis. I've never seen anybody cover that. Blue Moo Moo, but most of the rest are standard songs, Hawaiian Hapalaka kind of songs. And they're all done in like a Tijuana Brass style. Not only in a Tijuana Brass style, but a lot of these songs, they actually lift the literal hook or interesting part of the arrangement of a song. Like they use How a Taste of Honey opens with like dun 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 da 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 da. You know, they lift it. They lift parts of the arrangements from Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass onto these Hawaiian songs and give them a totally Tijuana Brass. It's just as if, Herb Alpert had recorded a Hawaiian album. I thought this was so interesting, and there was nothing up on it on YouTube, that I actually put the entire album up on YouTube. I'll try to remember to link that below, but if you want to, or up here, I'll put it up here. Boom. Or here, I'm not sure where it comes up. It'll be up there. If you want to hear the entire album, it's great stuff. Love it. Here's one. This is from the latter part of the vinyl record era, 1984. It's kind of close to when they stopped making the vinyl. I know it's back now, but it was not for a long time. I just didn't have this one, so I picked it up. It was reasonably priced. It's not personally my style that much. This is Leabert Lindsey and his Hapalaka band from 1984, and it is, as you can guess from these pictures, probably kind of country, definitely that Hawaiian country, cowboy influenced Paniolo sort of music. Which, like I said, generally speaking, is just not really my thing. Nothing wrong with it. It's great. It's just not personally my thing. But there's some falsetto in here, songs that are not Hawaiian, and then definitely Hawaiian songs, some original stuff too, and some traditional stuff. So, yeah, had to get it. You know, Leabert Lindsey and his Hapalaka band.
Hawaiian country feeling, the feeling's deep inside. When the rain beats against my window pane, oh, oloi kamaka, kamalahini, kanine, 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 oh, namanu, ulalari, ulalari,
Finally, I have talked about this record years ago, but in another video, but I'm going to reintroduce it because when I was doing record shopping with my friend Scott in Phoenix, we came across a place that had, in the budget bins, massive amounts of Tops Records, which is an earlier budget label that did some great stuff, and they were like pristine. I mean, they'd never been played, or they were just, I mean, these are records from the 50s, you know, and they were as if nobody had touched them. No record, no wear, no ring wear, nothing. I mean, they were immaculately beautiful. One of them was a recording that I had a long time ago, but it's an old record and it was fairly beaten up. This one's pristine, so I grabbed it and I'm like, I'm going to redigitize it and re-upload it up onto Hawaiian Hi-Fi because the recording is great. And I wish I knew the story behind it, but I don't. It's Hawaiian Holiday by the Waikiki Boys. Now, we love this cover. She appears on several different records. I wish I knew who she was. She may have been a dancer at the Lexington Hotel. Maybe, because some of these models on these records in these indoor settings were dancers at the Lexington. Anyway, but I don't know if she was. I don't know, but I'd love to find out. She's on several record covers. This one, the Waikiki Boys, I don't know the story. That's just a name Tops was using. I don't think these people actually ever performed under those names. If you look on the label, that's where the real story happens because they are listed individually, the artists. And these are some pretty big names in Hawaiian music history. Alvin Kaleolani Isaacs, Charles Kaipo Miller, Sterling Mossman, George Delanux, Pua Almeida. Yeah, they're all performing on this album, both as soloists and as a group together. There's also a couple of beautiful instrumental steel guitar recordings. I don't know whether that was Alvin Isaacs. Did he play? I know Pua Almeida played. Maybe it was Pua. They don't identify who this steel guitarist was, but anyway, this is a great album. And I know sometimes you do run across this record in a thrift store, in a dollar record bin or something, kind of beaten up a lot of times when you find it. But I just want to emphasize here or point it out to you if you happen to be interested in Hawaiian music and you come across this album and you see it's a budget label, you're familiar with the budget labels, and you go, oh, this is going to be one of those Kaleolani steel guitar records that they issued and reissued 3,000 times, and I already have 12 copies of it under different names and whatever, even though I love that stuff. But if you're not going to get it because you think, oh, it's that. I just want to emphasize, if you come across this record, it's a gem. It's not a Kaleolani steel guitar recording, even though I love those. It's big names in the old Hawaiian music back in the 50s. Big names on this. Quality recording, really nice, and really happy to have a beautiful copy of it. Looks like it was never even played. Beautiful stuff.
Tonight, Mapuana, Hawaii smiles on you. One kiss of sweet aloha, aloha, I love you.
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to subscribe down below. And please don't forget to check out Hawaiian Hi-Fi Radio. That's going to be linked down below. And you can listen to that absolutely free, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Check it out. All kinds of Hawaiian goodies on there. So vintage, all vintage, of course. So, or vintage inspired. There are a couple of Exotica CDs that are newer that are inspired by the old styles. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'd love to hear any comments below if you have any of these recordings or interest in them or questions or whatever. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day. Enjoy your September. It's early in September here as I'm recording this. So you may be, I don't know, 20 years in the future watching this. I don't know. It's 2024 now, September. Have a good day, and we will talk to you guys later.